seeing that from your vantage point, seeing a team close out Rosenblatt and literally open up TD Ameritrade with championships, something that'll never be done again. I mean, what an experience! What an experience that was for you. I'd love to hear your perspective on it.
Well, I literally have chills just hearing you describe it, because it really is one of my favorite things to talk about and think about. And the 2 books are sitting right over here beside me. I think 2010 was just like the fact that it was just out of nowhere. That to me, it was just kind of this beautiful story of a team that came together at just the right time and didn't even know what it had in itself. I mean, if you think about it, that Michael Roth had thrown like 18 innings or something all year and just would come in and get 1 or 2 guys out. And then you wind up discovering on the biggest stage in the sport that he's, oh, by the way, one of the best starting pitchers in the school's history and in the history of Omaha. Yeah. By the end of it, I think had something like a 0.8 ERA by the end of it in 8 starts or 9 starts.
Yeah, most Omaha. Innings pitched ever in College World Series history.
Yeah, I mean, but to find that in a guy who fancied himself as a first baseman, who was moonlighting as a pitcher and believed that he was going to come out of his slump and be a power hitter, that's incredible stuff. And to do it against your rival is just like unfathomable. I mean, just the whole confluence of all that. And if anybody's read the first book, a lot of it's dedicated to the Teal family and the team and everyone rallying to think about him and play for him. And that was real. I remember the Coastal Series when it was 1,000,000 degrees in Myrtle and Christian Walker's home run. And you're just like, I get to go to Omaha for the first time ever. Like, I was personally excited. Yeah. Never been, heard great things. Knew it was the last year of Rosenblatt. Just so excited to see the neighborhood and understand what that whole place is like. And I mean, it was 2 of the most fun weeks of my entire life, because you go and you think, we could be here for 4 days, or we could be here for the whole time. And we were there the whole time. And I'm glad that we were. So it was just, our little media group, some of the USC like barking type folks, and trying to race out for last call after games. I think last call was at like 1 a.m., which, you're working till 12 probably. And so they had an early last call. So you're like racing to celebrate and get a beer and just relax and have fun out there. And just, I mean, it seriously was, Chris. Like, I mean, it was the most fun, memorable time of my life, and I wasn't even playing. So to get to know those guys, I mean, I didn't know Michael Roth until that tournament started. To get to know Jackie and Christian and Wingo and, I mean, on and on, like all those guys, I still keep in touch with a pretty good amount of them. I think that was probably one of my biggest disappointments about COVID, was that we had kind of a reunion thing planned. I think it was going to be the start of this year, and it just couldn't do it. So that has to happen. We've got to have a reunion with everybody and the fans. And I was obviously a really, 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 really small part of that, but to be a part of it at all and be able to tell the story was incredible. Like I said, the fact that it just came out of absolute nowhere, that you didn't think this team had a chance. They didn't even host the Super. They get out there, they're matched up with, like you said, Arizona State, Clemson's in that same side. And you're like, this team's not going anywhere. And then they moved into who they would become. They became the favorites in 2011 because of that team and what they did in 2010. And I'll never forget it. I'm thankful for every person who was a part of that, Ray Tanner, Chad Holbrook on down.
Right. And Travis, it's great that you mentioned the team evolving into who they became, because it's funny, when fans reflect on 10 and 11, whether it be baseball, football, whatever, everybody just remembers the great times and, we just won every game and there was no adversity. And dude, you think about that 10 team. And again, I've been able to talk to tons of guys on those teams. You think about that 10 team though, lost 2 or 3 to East Carolina to start the season, lost 2 or 3 to Clemson and got beat like 19-4 at home on Sunday. Like, This was not a team that was like, oh yeah, this is definitely, I had Chad Holbrook on the show. I'm like, did you know coming in the season, this was going to be a College World Series team? He's like, no.
They were losing a lot of midweek games.
Yeah.
I mean, they were down. I mean, they almost lost the opening game to Bucknell before the rain delay, and they kind of got themselves together.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't know what was going to happen from game to game, and you got to Omaha, and I don't know. Like, I still have a really hard time understanding like what it was that happened to those guys. And obviously they were emotionally charged playing for a young boy and family in Bishopville. But I just, even now, like I look back and I'm like, you got a couple of major leaguers, but so did everybody. I mean, everybody there was loaded, and it just wound up being a team that believed in itself. And the teams that I've been around in tournament play are the ones that go the deepest and have a chance. Like, those teams are the ones that like each other. And I think that was something that really resonated with me, was like, these guys, you could tell, really cared for one another, and they had opened up Ray Tanner from being a little bit less of a hard ass than he normally was. They just got him to relax a little bit more in the moment too. And a lot of that was Roth and Wingo and all those guys. And I like I said, I'm just eternally grateful for the fate putting me there, but also just like for them being them, that it was just a really unique group of people, and they wound up winning a whole lot.